chicken, bird fat, bird fat.
Yo, what's going on? What is going on, Kevin?
Yo, did you say lose it, bird fat, bird fat? Was that you?
Oh yeah, it's always my voice.
Yo, that was hilarious, man. Yo, I'm struggling over here. I think I need something to split the audio input, because once I plug this in, I don't think I can hear you. But I'm probably gonna sound so crispy. But look.
Oh, because you're plugging in your mic. It's not good though. Oh no, now it's good. Yeah, I can hear you.
I need you to nod yes or no. You can hear me?
Yeah.
Do I sound better? Not really. Like if I was like, yo, if I'm like all into it, like right here, do I sound a little better if I did? Yeah, that sucks. But I can't hear you, so I can't use it anyway.
You can't hear me. It's a show, so.
Yeah, so it's a piece of shit. So I need to get the headphone combination.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I bought that I can't use. Sucks. What's happening, though, man?
How can you live with yourself?
How can you?
How can you?
I have some comic books that I read that I want to actually do some reviews on. Thank you for this book today. I don't think I said that.
Is it good? Yeah, it was good seeing you, man. I haven't seen you in months.
Yeah, I haven't seen people in general. Like it seemed like other people hadn't seen people either, because we were like, some people were just like talking to us out of the blue. That kind of, I don't know if that happens all the time, but some people must be like ready to leave their house too.
Yeah, people are happy to be out, man.
Even though everyone's got like a mask on and stuff. But I didn't even crack this open yet, but thank you for this. It's I think it's about the beginning of the series. It's like the comic depiction of the beginning of the series. That's pretty sweet. I have these two books that I read. I was talking about them. I figured I would just do the review right now because there was some stuff in here that I wanted to show you, or no, in here.
Oh, the Logan. Yep.
Like there's some sweet art, I think. So let me go through this first, and then we'll get into creating our comic in a minute. And then I don't know if you have any comics that you want to talk about, but this has got some, this Wolverine comic has some really cool panels that I kind of want to crib. So I'll show you why.
Yo, make your screen big.
Hopefully there's not too much feedback on my mic or any kind of background noise, because it's gotten so hot in here that I did turn a fan on in here. But this is Old Man Logan #5. It came out, I think, in 2016 in the summer, but I just read it like the other day. It's got some really cool art. Like one of the first things I saw was this overhead panel where Wolverine's on a motorcycle. And there was something about this that I know it's kind of simple looking, but I thought it was kind of cool, maybe for like an idea for Quantum Heights.
Okay.
Maybe with, there's future vehicles. It's a very simple panel, but I think it looks like it could look futuristic in our world if we did something like that. It's pretty cool. And actually the very next page is the page I was talking about, where I really, really like this this layout, this 2-page spread. Look how sweet this is, where these first 5 panels are broken up over like 70% of the first 2 pages here. Yeah. And isn't it cool how it really breaks it up? It's what would you call this? If 3 paintings is a triptych and 4 paintings is, what would 5 panels be?
Oh yeah, I don't know, but
this is really cool.
A quiptych.
I could picture this being a futuristic motorcycle, and this could be something like something that I crib for Albatross Junction, something for the future. The only thing I think that I would do probably differently, although I do like the way they did this, is you see how he has the bike facing this direction?
Yeah.
I think if I would have thought of this, I would have faced it the other direction. But I actually think that this direction shows how far he's gone. So
Yeah.
if you could tell in the background of this, it's actually not all one panel. It's like one panel with the bike, but the backgrounds are different to show how far he's gone. So he's got like this background here. He's got like a city background and a farm background and then like mountain background. So that was an interesting thing I thought about this page. And the whole story here, it's kind of like, it seems like a small bit of a larger story. So it's hard to get a lot from this one issue number 5. But it does kind of entice you with this interdimensional, I don't know if it's time travel, but it's like an interdimensional Wolverine and an interdimensional X-Men like working together. And then he's going back and forth. Logan's going back and forth from some memories that he had in like the previous dimension here. So then you could see on the way out of the comic book, they kind of did this panel separation again to split like a full page into more panels, which is fine, but it's really, really powerful on that opening motorcycle page that I showed you.
Yeah, this is looking pretty sick. It's looking pretty sick.
And the artwork in here has kind of been painterly all the way through a little bit. Very, very cool. I would definitely check out some more of this series because it seems to like tie into what the X-Men were doing. You know, this is just, I'm taking a snapshot because I just looked at this issue number 5 right here. I didn't read the previous issues or the next issues.
It's pretty sick.
What is going on, Mundo?
Yo, Mundo, what's up?
Mundo's in the house.
What is going on, Mundo?
We
Yo.
shake it up.
What's going on, man? Good to see you, bro.
I am hearing
Good to see
some
you,
weird,
dude, guys.
I don't know if you got any glimpse of what Ant just showed, but there was a panel in there, Ant, the one that you were just talking about.
Yeah, saw that. It looked like a fan panel, man. Like a fan out.
I was really digging the way the characters were black and white and the background was all bold red in between fully colored panels. That was pretty sick.
You're talking about these ones back here, maybe? Oh, here.
Yeah, those right there. That was pretty sick.
Yeah, because that pops it out a little bit.
Yeah, it's nice. That's nice. And it makes it look like two separate situations. You can see that, obviously. That's nice.
That's what I was talking about with the different dimensions. It's actually like this is how it's kind of interesting that you said that, Kev, because he's in between two different like memories, I guess you could say, or like one thing's happening right now and then one thing is similar to that has happened, and that's why the different colors, I guess.
That's nice.
And that happens here too, but less. It's like less apparent, but it is like some memory that he had previously and then like what's going on at the moment, or vice versa. So that's pretty crazy. But I got this other one too, which is a Star Wars comic. I was going to make a separate video on this. This is like a little bit of a longer comic. Dr. APHRA #1. If you've been keeping track of the Star Wars series, like back in like 2016, they were doing these Darth Vader comics, and Dr. APHRA was a character in the Darth Vader comics where Darth Vader would send this person out on missions. She has these helpers, these droids, and then like a meaner version of Chewbacca. So it's like that time frame where Darth Vader's alive, but at this point, it's like the Darth Vader comics kind of leave it to where Dr. APHRA is like dead to the universe, but Darth Vader kept her alive and said, you know, I faked your death and now go out there and like kind of do my bidding and stuff like that. I think that's how it kind of ended. So this Dr. APHRA #1 is picking up right there. and I do like the way the art is in a lot of this. So they do like a little forward, and then they have this opening page.
Really pops out though. I mean,
yeah, like the cool thing about these droids here is they kind of look like they might be R2 and C-3PO, but the C-3PO is like got red eyes and he's darker colored, and the R2 is like an old, like, I don't know, an R1 unit or something, and they're like really mean. They've like programmed these droids to be like super evil.
Can you imagine C-3PO being evil? Really? I mean, oh my gosh.
And they like revel
That's
in like
funny.
torture. Yeah, so like they think of how to like torture people really bad.
Wow.
I like the way that they've drawn the technology here.
I didn't know Dr. APHRA was Star Wars related.
Yeah, the other one that I talked to you about, Kev, Dr. Alpha, is a totally different independent comic that is on IndieGogo. This one sounds similar, but it's a Star Wars based comic book. I don't know if this is still running. I'd have to look into it, but this was also back in the summer of 2016, probably one of those runs that you and I went to the comic store, Kev, and then I never actually read it until this year. So I'm not going to show everything here, but basically these droids end up helping her like they did in the Darth Vader comics a lot. They also really, like I said, they like revel in murder and torture and stuff. And obviously they're droids, so they're really good at like tech and breaking into stuff.
They should have called him Your Fuck.
I think the end of it here is actually a different comic thing. Yeah, so like the rest of the book here is something else. But the Dr. APHRA comic ends kind of in the middle, and you know, I don't want to show that last page, but this ended up being like a way better story than I kind of thought in a way, because I thought this was going to be crap. I didn't really like this character in the Darth Vader comic too much, but I did like the side characters. Like this Wookiee is the type of Wookiee who's like the opposite of Chewbacca. He's not a nice guy. He's only hanging out with her to take these like bounty hunter, like murder type jobs.
And that's cool, because that shows a different side of the Wookiees, you know, not just the way, because not just the way Chewbacca was, but I mean, a different Wookiee in a different scenario, in a different situation, and all a different ego. I mean, damn, you know, that just blows it. Like, who would have thought that you could see a Wookiee like act like that?
Yeah, because like, if you remember in the movies and stuff, when like Han would just all that would have to happen was like he would just show Chewbacca, and then people would get scared and like do whatever. They would get scared when they saw a Wookiee. Well, imagine like a mean Wookiee, because all she has to do, all Dr. APHRA has to do, basically, like in this scene right here, is this mean Wookiee is just showing his face to the gangsters, like in this scene right here, and that's almost enough. Like, obviously they fight a little, it's a comic book, but it's almost enough just for him to show up, you know?
Yeah, but in the movie Han Solo, young Chewbacca was beastly.
Yeah, that's kind of how he was probably more intended to be. The species of a Wookiee is intended to be like, you know, a big brawny creature, rather than like the original Chewbacca, Peter Mayhew, was maybe more of a slender man, but the newer guy is more of an athletic type of guy who's in the costume, and that's more like how he's supposed to be moving, is like very athletic and very beastly, and almost like, you know how strong an ape or like a Sasquatch might be. So that's kind of what a Wookiee's supposed to be. And this Wookiee, I mean, he's even got like, I think, a robot eye and stuff. And they went into a lot of detail about these side characters in the Darth Vader comic. And then now she's off on her own doing her own stuff. And like I said, I don't really know if this was something that's still running these few years later. I don't know how popular this was, but I actually.
That's crazy.
So she's basically the female Han.
So was this
evil,
after
though.
Vader died? Was this supposed to be after Vader died?
No, like I don't know if she's alive after Vader died, but this comic takes place during the time of like Vader's around. Vader helped fake her death in his own comic book, the Darth Vader comic book. And then the only reason why he kept her alive is that she's like looking for like Sith artifacts for him or something like that. I think this is still the time before.
So this is the time before Star Wars.
I think so. Yeah.
Before, like right at Star Wars, between Star Wars and Empire.
I think so. I think that's when like the original Darth Vader comic was taking place, if not a little before, probably a little before. Darth Vader was going through some trials and stuff. He was going through battles on different planets and stuff in his own comic, and she would be there to either like find a Sith artifact or help out or do something, maybe try to steal something he would like find out and then, you know, double cross. These are like bad guys, so everything was like a double cross and everything was like stuff like that.
I want to see a movie or some kind of video or maybe series on Vader in between those times when Vader was really putting in his reputation as a badass, you know, badass fighter. Like,
absolutely.
Okay, don't mess with Vader. You know, that's why everybody was so afraid of Vader, is because of his reputation that he built on, you know, when he was killing everybody, you know, even his own men when they were screwing up and not doing what he asked. You know, he didn't have no mercy, but he did have a respect for very few people. And that's the kind of story I want to see, where Vader builds his reputation, but still has a few people that he respected to leave alone after they screwed up.
Yeah, I want to see him hunting down some of those Jedi. Like, do like the after, or like the pre-Rogue One movies, you know? Like you just said, you know, him doing his whatever deeds he was doing, whatever like evil deeds he was doing, that was made everyone fear him and be scared of him. Show all that stuff.
See, and that's what they should have showed for Luke. That's what they should have done for Luke too, to see how powerful Luke really got after that.
Yeah, that would have been like the Matrix or something. You know, it would have been something like they would have needed some, you know, martial arts fight coordinators, get them to train. That was the one thing we didn't really hear about before episode 7. Like in hindsight, that was a red flag not to hear. Like, yeah, we saw that Mark Hamill was like losing weight and he was looking a lot better. And we were like, oh, wow, he's like growing a beard and stuff. He's going to be in episode 7. This is incredible. He's going to be Luke again. But we didn't, you know, now in hindsight, we didn't hear and see the fact, like, he wasn't sword training. He wasn't, you know, if this was the time of like the prequel movies, we would have seen some backstage video of them training Mark Hamill. Remember, we used to see Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor training with the sticks and doing the sword maneuvers and stuff. We never saw that. So that should have been a red flag for us to be like, wait, okay, we see that Luke is like growing a beard and getting kind of in shape, but we never see any kind of sword training or nothing. Does that mean there's not going to be a sword fight in this movie? And then going a step further, we should have realized, like, is Luke even going to be in this movie? You know, and then and he wasn't. And then when he was in the second movie, it was just a huge trash fire. You know what I mean? It was like a dumpster fire where they just wanted to ruin the character, it seemed like. So really, really strange situation. Never thought I'd live to see that. That was odd. Totally, totally odd. Imagine everyone waiting 40 years to see a character appear on screen, and you decide to hold him 2 more years till the why? What are you doing? Like, what is going on there? That's a strange situation.
Yeah. Well, then again, it goes back to Kathleen Kennedy, because she had no concept of what his character was like. and yet she was in charge of all this stuff. And that's why now they're having Favreau and those other two guys that are coming, and then now they're gonna do, I think, all three of them, because George Lucas is gonna get in on it again. They're gonna have him come and reevaluate what's going on, because they want to win the fans back. And so they're gonna have him and the what's the Filoni, I think that's his name. They're gonna have him, Lucas, Filoni, and Favreau come in, all three of them, to kind of reconcept and win fans back for the Star Wars movies. So they're going to map out how they're going to do that.
Well, good luck to them. You know, that's going to be an awful meeting if she's involved. You know, if they can keep her out of that meeting, it'd be good, I guess. But
yeah, no, they got her down. The new president is taking over all of it, and he's already had those three come on. Kathleen Kennedy is going to have nothing to do with it, any of it.
I hope you're right.
At least that's what I'm hearing from all these different sources that's going on. That's right. Eat it up.
What is that, bro?
That's what they did. They torched the series.
Yep, they did.
But I was thinking the other day how, like,
that's from The Crow. That's from The Crow.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I love that movie, man. Fire it up, fire it up. That's the shit. That's my shit.
Okay, I've been kind of thinking a few drinks and stuff. I'm kind of going back and forth between, but I need to come up with the weak ass drink name. And
you had a great
one. The solar flare. The solar flare. The dope one. Solar flare.
So no, he had a great one like last night.
Yeah, the meltdown. What was
the other one? The meltdown. Yeah.
We got the solar flare. We got the meltdown, and but we need to get like maybe the weak ass drink, maybe the warm up, or let's see, I don't know.
You know what like I think you should have a drink. You know how like we in our world we throw salt on the sidewalks to melt the snow. You should have something that like the something salty, the salty something, and then when people drink it, they kind of like thaw out. You know what I'm talking about?
Fall out? What do you mean by fall out?
They thaw out. Like they come in all frozen and they drink this salt and shit, and then they fucking it melts off.
There you go. There it is. The thaw out.
The thaw out. That's dope.
There you go. That's the weak ass drink right there. The thaw out. That's the weak ass drink.
I gotta write this down.
That's where I slapped the shit out.
How about you call it the thermal thaw?
The what?
The thermal thaw.
Oh, the thermal thaw. There you go. That's even better.
You call it TT for short. Give me a titty. Yo, I'm just charging this pencil and I'm getting ready to blast through that page. Lose it, kick it, burn fat. Yo, that shit is retarded. I like it though. I like it.
And you should play that every time somebody gets the thermal thaw.
The thermal thaw.
Right before they die.
Like I don't know what this thing's supposed to do. This is
waste your money.
This is our competition on IndieGogo. This is on IndieGogo. This is what they might buy instead of Albatross. Look, you might save 201, which means this shit is far, 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 far more expensive than 200. If you're gonna save 201, what is this thing? It's a light. It's a flashlight. It's a flashlight for your fat cells.
And it's supposed to shrink your fat cells?
It's supposed to give you abs.
Oh.
Like you could use it at work and waste your time.
What? You know what? Why do I need abs when I got a keg, man?
Oh, I
When
said
you got a what?
shit, bro.
A keg?
I got a keg.
Like what you need a six pack.
Said I don't need. Yeah, exactly.
Look,
Yeah,
see, you could do
shit.
this while you're checking your phone. You could use this on your hips. You don't want this? You don't want this, Kev?
No, I don't want
I'll
that.
get you one of these.
Hips. Oh, come on, Ant. If you're gonna do that kind of stuff, you might as well do the Chinese torture chair.
What's that?
Yeah, you said that like it's common knowledge.
Is it another fat burner?
He knows what I'm talking about. Anybody in martial
Chinese-
arts knows exactly what that is.
What's
Oh,
that,
is
with
that
the
the thing
nail?
that like spread your legs?
What?
Is that the thing that makes you do a split?
No. That's when you lean it against the wall and you do like you're sitting in a chair. You just
Oh,
Yeah, like a wall
okay.
sit.
Like there's no chair there. Yeah.
yeah.
A wall sit. Yep.
But they call
Oh, this
it a
is the
Chinese
animation
torture
I
chair.
like. This is the one I like, Kev. This one, you need this one. See?
Oh my
See how
God.
easy it is?
Oh
That's all
yeah,
you
they
have
got
to
a guy's
do.
belly with a woman's. Okay,
I
Like,
don't want
they
no
switched
there's
from
no
a man's fat
workout.
belly to a woman's skinny belly.
I'm going in.
Come on.
I'm going in,
There's
bro. I'm going in.
There's no
I'm
workout
mentally signing
necessary.
off, and I'm going in.
Well, Kev,
Go
you
in.
should consider getting one of these for your shoulder. Like this could give your shoulder abs.
Oh,
That make my
by the
shoulder
way, how'd
powerful.
your appointment go, Kev?
Oh, it went all right. We're gonna try to avoid surgery and do some physical therapy for a month or two.
Oh, yeah.
But the guy, he didn't look too hopeful. But I'm gonna see what happens.
Let's
Like
see.
my doctor looked at me and he's like, yeah, if you want to do physical therapy, we can do physical therapy. I was like, all right, man, let's just do it. I don't want to have surgery. I don't want it.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. So good.
Always try other things first, man.
Oh, yeah.
Always try other things first. I went to do
Where's
my.
your Star Wars lightsabers? Where's your lightsaber? Go! I got it! Me too! Zap, zap, zap!
Oh, you're nuts.
Have you worked on your saber at all, Mundo?
Yeah, that's when I text you about the how it worked, man. It's like so frustrating.
Oh yeah,
So
you have to
now-
wait for that other part, don't you?
Yeah, now because I got the pins and I replaced all the pins, and I still think it's the PCB, the in-hilt PCB.
Yeah, because I mean, I was
something's wrong with
kind of worried about that because even with like my experience and like Harris's experience, when we were trying to do the pins and replace pins that we damaged, it was basically impossible for us to do it. I bought another PCB as well, but I figured like the pins are cheap and it's like good practice. I knew you were already practicing on those other PCBs. I was like, maybe you could do it. And I knew me and Harris really couldn't do it that well. I mean, repairing over soldered ones is a lot harder than like dropping in fresh ones,
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a lesson though that like that's just a thing that you have to be careful on doing next time if you're going to drop your own pins. Like sometimes or a lot of times I'll just buy them that way from the custom saber shop, like already done.
Yeah.
Already.
Because that's the thing. I bought a pack of 10 from Mauser, and I figure, okay, well, since these pins are messed up, I'll buy some new pins from Mauser and I'll replace those, which I did, resoldered it. And I was thinking, okay, well, it's got to work, it's got to work now that I replaced, because I spent over 2.5 hours just going over that sheet for the, for the board and making sure where every wire is going to go.
So we're talking about the Profi now.
Yeah, we're talking about the Profi.
And so isn't it good news that you saw some light? Though?
Yes. Yeah, because
Okay,
because when I turned it on, when I turned it on, three out of the 5 lights lit up.
Great.
And my PLI is lighting up perfectly. My the sounds are coming out perfectly. The switches works, perfectly. Everything works except for the blade. And then
did you try the actual blade as well, or just the little chip?
Yeah, no, I tried the little chip and the blade, but the blade.
What happened on the blade?
It lit up for a split second, like I showed you last time.
Mm-hmm.
And then it didn't do it anymore. But on the little chip, the 3 lights light up. 3 lights light up.
And it acted like it was on, like it was like humming and doing all that.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh my gosh, the flickering and the 3 lights. I got the blue, the red, the orange, and then the fire kind of blade going. It was trippy, man. But it was only 3 of the lights instead of all 5. So, like I said, well, then again, I probably do need to order a charger and charge the battery too, because I think I only have one more green light. Let's see.
When is your package expected to come? Did you order that already?
No, I haven't ordered it yet. I need to order it probably either this weekend or Friday the night, something like that. I was just so busy. Like today, I took off from work to go do my annual doctor's appointment, and then go get an eye exam and take my daughter to her what do you call it? Basketball and volleyball practice today. So doing all kinds of things today. So it's been a full busy day, man. I leave work to have a decent day off. I end up doing work all day. So it's like, man, I can't get away from it. But this weekend, man, this weekend is gonna be different, hopefully. And but I get to play. You know what? Hold on. Where is it? And the kill switch works great. I wired it up good, so it'll come out nice when I pull the kill key.
Yeah, I think like overall it's good news.
I'm super proud of myself, not quitting and keep at it till I. So.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. I can't wait till you're like actually swinging it around.
Oh, you're not the only one. I'm like, I cannot wait myself, man. All right, so let's see here. It might be a little weak because of the battery, but let me get this. Show you here. Let's see.
Oh, Kev, that smoke and stuff is looking great.
Nice, thank you.
See, look at that.
Yeah, nice that you've trying it outside the hilt, outside the lightsaber first. Oh, that's looking very clean.
Yeah, I mean, come on, Ant. I gotta make you proud, man. I gotta make you proud.
That's really good. That's really good.
Okay, so here it goes. I'm gonna pull the kill key and see what goes on here. Do you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay, and then here is the.
And it's gonna sound better when it's all in there.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's gonna have resonance.
PLI, and then let's see here. Oh, come here, you.
Yo, that was.
Oh no! Kind of hard to do it with one hand here. Hold it down. Come on.
Switch on your Star Wars lightsabers. Close your eyes and go.
Come on, damn it.
Yo, how many hours you think you put into this?
Too many.
Well, it takes a Jedi a month or more to make a lightsaber. So
That's what
maybe
they say?
since we're not Jedi, it takes even longer. Takes me longer than a month, but I also have a job too. Like I can't just make lightsaber for an entire month.
Can you see that, Ant?
Yeah. So that's the blade lights like lit up?
Yeah.
Nice.
That's the chip, man. That's the chip.
Awesome. So only a few of the lights are lit though, because I can't tell.
Yeah. It's just 3. It's 3 out of the 5.
See, I wonder if the chip is bad. I wonder. Or I wonder if something.
I don't think so. I don't think the chip is bad. Like I said, I think it's the I really think it's the PLI or the pins, or I'm gonna keep trying. I may just redo the pins again, clean it up again, and do it again and see if that works. And if not, but my ultimate thing is going to be getting a new PCB. Because I've got a very strong feeling that it's the PCB itself, the in-hilt PCB. And ooh, that's not good. The negative to the battery is kind of warm. The line. I'll have to check that out. See what's going on there. But yeah, it all works. And I even got to the smooth swing, the smooth Jedi. I went through a lot of it. I didn't find my when I was going through. I guess I have to still learn a few things about this Profi and stuff, and how it all kind of works and stuff. But for the most part, I'll figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a little different than some of the other ones.
Yeah, it really is. Because I put my friend's voice in there. I got it exactly how I want it from Audacity. And I was able to pin it just for the right amount of seconds and get it converted. Shamim had converted it for me, but he did the whole thing instead of just cutting the part that I needed to.
Oh.
But I mean, I still love the fact that he converted it for me, which was awesome.
It made it easy because you just had to cut it, huh? You just had to snip off a bit.
Yeah, well, I had to turn it into a different wave, a wave file. He didn't have it as a wave file. He had it as an ARM file or ARM or whatever it is. I think it's an ARM file.
AVI?
No, not AVI. He had it ARM or something like that. So I had to reconvert it over to a wave file. And but I love the fact that he was able to do that for me. I mean, before he decided to quit everything, and he didn't charge me. He was really nice.
That's awesome.
Superb person. Superb person to Shamim. Shout out to him. And I really, asked a few questions, and he was able to help me with a few questions as well, and stuff like that. But for the most part, with him helping me with my friend's voice was a really huge thing. And with you helping me, with everything else, I mean, that's just, I can't thank you all enough, Can't thank you enough.
Can't wait to see it all working. But there's no rush. There's no rush.
Well,
maybe by the end of the summer we'll have it.
Maybe. I'm hoping. I'm super close. I am super close. I am so close. I can see the blade light up itself. I can see the blade light up without even being in the hilt. So I'm very hopeful, and I
think you're close as well.
I'm super close. Now my only thing is how I'm going to put it in, everything in the saber, because I don't have no regular chassis for it, and everything that I've I'd have to get like maybe half a chassis to put in the board and stuff, or just like I showed you with the PVC pipe.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were kind of planning, something like that.
I am. I just got to know how I'm gonna really work it in there. So yeah, it's because the way I had it designed was a little different than most everybody the way they have theirs. So you kind of have to break it up, on the inside. It's not just all one big piece, because in there you have it cut up, you have it like that in there. So
oh yeah, that looks pretty good. Keep it there. Let me zoom in there.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, the what is that, the button that's got a bunch of wires there, or is that the kill key?
That's the kill key that I've got in there. That's the recharge port right there that you're seeing.
Yeah. So maybe the board can like have access underneath that to get to that special port, that USB port that you need to get to sometimes to do updates. I think there's enough room.
That's what I was thinking, is just to kind of have that small PVC part right up in there.
Yeah.
And it'll be just big enough for the board. And I've got some Velcro, double-sided Velcro, so I was thinking I could just kind of slap it down right there.
Yeah.
So I've got a few ideas to work on. I just need to see if they're going to work out or not. And then, of course, because all these lines are long right now, I'll shorten those once I make sure I get everything working properly. And once the blade lights up properly, everything sounds good, then I can shorten all my wires up to where they're going and everything. It won't be so spaghetti oriented in there. Gotta do you proud, man. Gotta do you proud.
Yeah, it's coming out great.
And then I'll be, I know in the near future, I'll be working on some more of those boards that I sent you, the what do you call it?
The circuit cards?
The buttons. Yeah, the circuit cards. I'll be making some more of those. I got 2 boards in already. I'm going to go buy probably another 2 or 3 real soon, because they're like about $7 for the board. And I can make about 4 or 5 circuit cards out of each one of them. So,
oh, very cool.
Yeah. I wanna send one to Harris and Gabe.
Oh, they would love it.
Yeah. So I got to make sure that I get it right on, though, and make sure I get them right, because if they need shorter than the box 1, then they can shorten it out. But the ones that I'll make will fit the box 1. The Dibbicks.
The Dibbick.
He just ravaged some people. Some people got ravaged.
Yeah, they deserved it.
Why were they wandering around?
Your mama told you not to go out at night, damn it.
It's always nice.
Listen for Morningstar, as in...
Example, yes, exactly. So tell me. What is the agency?
That was crazy.
Trying to spice up your world a little bit, Kev.
Yo, did she say Lucifer? He said, yes, the devil. Is that what happened?
Yeah, that's why I found that clip so strange.
Shit.
She was like, "Oh, your name sounds like the devil." He's like, "Yeah, that's because I am." I was like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, I'm the devil. So yes, quite accurate.
Oh, I got a buddy of mine to get me some safety glasses from Kennedy, man.
From Kennedy?
Oh, nice.
What's Kennedy?
Kennedy Space Center.
Oh,
nah.
nice. Oh, gas me up. Gassed me up, man. I was on board for that.
No, Kennedy is kind of like a construction company, but they're like they do like all the major. They do all the major oil field type stuff.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm. I think they're oil field construction company.
Like Bruce Willis in Armageddon.
Yeah. What you working on, Ed?
That's just kind of funny that Kevin just says like Bruce Willis in Armageddon, because I don't know, this scene kind of looks like like these astronaut people like walking out of their spaceship.
Oh, maybe that's why I thought about it. That could be why I thought about it.
Got the Armageddon crew.
The best is when they did that in Monsters Inc. Did you see Monsters Inc?
No.
With any of your kids? Well, they mimic that scene in Monsters Inc. and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
I feel like when they put out those kids movies like back in the day, when I don't know, when like we were growing up, but when we were kind of too old for them anyway, and you could kind of respect them, you know, when they would put out like Lion King or something. You might have been a little too old, but you were like, okay, that's pretty impressive. You know, they watched lions, they drew lions, whatever. But they used to come out with those movies. It was like once every 4 years or something. It took a whole lot to make like a Lion King, you know. But then when they started to do all the computer stuff and it really started to come out, they would have like 2 or 3 a year. That's when I lost track of being able to watch all of them, you know, because like before it's like you could keep up with them. You're like, oh, they put out, you know, they put out Little Mermaid. It'll be 5 years before they put out something else. You know what I mean? Like you could find the time to watch Little Mermaid or whatever. But like when they put out 3 or 4 of them a year, and it's when you don't have kids or nothing, like those type of people like me are not really gonna be able to see all those.
They really couldn't even. Well, they did, but at the same time, they couldn't even think of better ways to put those sexual connotations they did in the old days. You know.
How do you mean?
Like you were mentioning the Little Mermaid. You remember the cover of the Little Mermaid where it had the penis in the palace?
Yeah, in the palaces.
Like it had something an artist snuck in, right?
Yeah, they all did. Back in the day, they all did.
They all did. They all drew something nasty.
They just had like dudes like me and you working like hour after hour, and like at midnight we're just drunk. Like, yo, you know, to be funny, bro, I'm gonna do it.
So in the time since then, have they like erased those parts of the current printings or whatever? Like it's no longer there, or it's still there?
I'm sure.
No, they have it, but it's just a little harder to find it. It's not as easy. And even sometimes it was in just the connotations of the way the characters talk.
But yo, it's in all those movies, even in Lion King.
Yeah.
What's in Lion King? Like an errant dick or something? Like
there's a scene when like young what's the son? Simba like flops on the edge of like a cliff, like he's tired, and the dust like kicks off the cliff, and it spells sex for like a frame.
Yeah.
Risque.
But it's like why is
like every child watching that?
Why are you even doing that?
That's weird. Why not say some other kind of message?
It's just stupid. It's just, you know, these dudes probably felt underpaid and overworked, and they're like, yo, fuck this, I'm gonna do some stupid
shit. They should have wrote like vote Dukakis.
You know what I'm saying? Something stupid. But yo,
maybe they wrote vote Trump, and then like 20 years later those kids grew up and did.
You know what's funny? Like back in the days, like in the 50s, and like Donald Duck or some shit like that. He was in his room, and on the back wall in a poster it said "Look up Illuminati" in the 50s.
What?
That's pretty sick.
There's all kinds of hidden shit.
Yeah, look up Illuminati.
See, a lot of people don't know to look for stuff like that, you know. But it's kind of like.
So what are you hiding in Albatross, Kevin?
Whole bunch of shit.
Subliminal message. A subliminal message.
Whole bunch of shit. Whole bunch of stuff. I won't point them out till it's printed. It'd be crazy. Yo, we got to hit Jane up, by the way.
I was almost going to invite her to meet us today. I'm glad I didn't, because that place was closed. You know, we would have sent her on some kind of wild goose chase.
She would have been okay with it.
I also thought, like, after the news we had just gotten that our boss was like quitting, then I thought that we were going to maybe talk about that, and it wasn't the right time.
Yeah, she'd be so happy. She's going to be so happy for that.
I am not happy. I'm about to cry.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks.
I love my boss. I'm so fucking upset.
She makes it happen.
Wow. Well, maybe you'll get another good boss, you know.
That's what Kevin said today. We were talking about, he's like, what if we get someone better? I'm like, okay, good point. You know, I don't know, but like, I just love this boss. Like, I don't know anything else, so I'm like upset.
Yeah. Well, time will tell.
Like, the only thing I see are like people.
2 more bosses besides that. There's been like 2 people other than her.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Like, you have Steve and Avis to compare her to.
Well, plus, like, almost everybody is our boss. Like, we're the lowest people, so like everybody's our boss.
Damn,
so like
lowest people.
Like everybody, there's like 30 people in the building, they're all our boss. So I don't know. Like all but like 2 people.
Nah, fuck that. I'm the boss.
Kevin is a boss. He's just not the boss. Like, he just doesn't get the difference. Like, yeah, Kevin is a boss, but he's not the boss.
But you are the master of your space. Space is master of his space.
Space and space. Yo, why'd you go and draw all these fucking lines, bro? What is wrong with you?
I figured you can make sense of it. A lot of it's blood. Yeah, you can tell that it's blood.
Shit.
Make it look like it's blood. It's blood in the snow, you know?
Oh my.
Don't hurt yourself now. You should have put that "We Are Strong" one.
Oh, I could do 1,000 memes.
What's the "We Are Strong" one?
The one that I played last week, man. The "We Are Strong."
Wait, what did I have?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's where I guess girls kissing the other girl, whatever. I don't know.
Oh, the girl kissing the guy.
Strong.
There you go.
I thought you were talking about something different. I thought you were talking about like an 80s rock song, like a Van Halen or something.
Oh, no. See, you need to put one that has "Can't Drive 55." I mean, oh. Oh, there you go. You played the "I Can't Drive 55" when Kev starts putting the blood in there, and
Kev starts putting the pedal to the metal in his inking.
Putting the pedal to the metal.
see, that's looking real good. So is that page pretty much done right there?
Yeah, pretty much, yep.
Cool.
Oh shit.
Man, I made some air fryer ribs tonight.
Oh, air fryers are the best. Air fryers are the greatest thing to man. Let me tell you. I'll put everything in there just to see what happens.
Yeah. Well, I didn't have no time to barbecue them outside, so.
I don't know what
By
it
the
is,
time-
but I am just imagining something good.
Oh man.
I don't know what an air fryer is.
You know what an air
It sounds
fryer
like
does?
a fantasy.
You know what an air fryer does? It gives everything like the consistency of like a McDonald's chicken nugget, like that crispiness.
Really?
But you know how like that chicken nugget is like fake meat? Like it does that to like real chicken. You know what I'm saying?
You know what my favorite consistency is of like a fake fry is that shake and bake. Can we do that? I love shake and bake.
Shake and bake is amazing.
Shake and bake.
But we never had that growing up. Like I don't think my mom ever did that. But I just from watching the commercial, I just want shake and bake. Like I don't know what it's like or anything. I'm assuming it's really salty and absolutely amazing.
Never had shake and bake. Wow.
Yeah, it is pretty salty stuff.
I like the idea.
But if you want something kind of like shake and bake, man, you can get your pork rinds. If you like pork rinds, crush them up.
Mm-hmm.
And then get your egg wash, and you can put any kind of spices you want in the crushed pork rinds, and then just throw it all in a big old gallon Ziploc bag, and whatever you're gonna cook in the air fryer, you just
which is some kind of fantasy machine,
and coat it and all that stuff. Hey, Kevin's got one. He needs to let you borrow it for one night.
Yeah, I got one. It's amazing.
Albatross cooking, man.
That'll be good. Need an albatross cooking show.
There you go.
Maybe Mundo has like a
making drinks, right?
Hologram
making
show.
Cocktails, man. I think Mundo needs to make cocktails in character.
Yeah, there you go.
And then every time at the end of every one, you just splash it in the screen like, drink it up.
You sure you want that thermal thaw?
Maybe like there's a drink you serve. I don't know if we talked about this, Mundo, but is there a drink that you could serve in the bar that like has a certain percentage of killing the person? Like, I wonder if there's Kev. Is there something in our world? Like, is there a loophole with this? Like, can we have the patrons like when you go to the wing place and to try their hottest wings to win like whatever T-shirt, you have to like sign something like their hottest wings are like nuclear, like whatever, like thermonuclear. I wonder if like you go to El Mundo's, and you sign something. And one of these drinks that he gives you kills like 2 out of 100 people or whatever, like that, drink it. But you sign something that says like, if you do die, your nanobites can't blame Mundo.
Oh yeah.
Like, is there some kind of loophole in the nanobites that we could do?
I mean, maybe. Well, it's self-inflicted because you're drinking it. He's not forcing you to drink it.
Right.
So it's like, it's on you anyway.
It's on you,
The nuclear slider.
That's pretty sick.
I'll write that down because I think that you'd have to sign something. You know what I mean? Like if there's a chance to die.
Yeah, we'll call it nuclear slider.
And it actually might be nuclear. That's why you can die.
That'd be pretty sick.
It's actually like glowing nuclear.
That'd be pretty crazy.
What is that?
Morningstar, as in.
Example. Yes, exactly.
What do you call it? What is that stuff that they use for? I'm trying to think. God dang it! My brain is like gone right now.
In our comic or in something else?
No, in Man, I got so many things on my brain right now. I'm going through 100 things at once. Back to the Future, the car.
The DeLorean.
The DeLorean, but it uses the
flux capacitor.
No. The little canisters. What did he use?
Is it the flux capacitor?
No. The little canisters that go inside the car in the back.
He put the trash in those.
Not the trash. It was the nuclear stuff. What was it?
Oh, I don't remember that. And Back to the Future?
Yeah. It was the little green stuff. Remember the nuclear canisters he had to put in there? In the very first one.
No, I don't remember that. I don't remember that at all.
Which on your Star Wars lightsabers or your Anhinga? Go!
Man. Plutonium.
Oh,
yeah. Okay, now I remember.
Yeah, so it was plutonium. So it's got a drop of plutonium in it.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
It does.
Plutonium.
So that's why it's green. It's got the radioactive sign on there, and it's got a small flame.
It's doused in fruity nucleopeptides.
Oh my god. That sounds crazy.
No. It's got to be a little bit of Jaeger.
Sounds nuts.
Come down to El Mundo's. All you need to do is risk your.
That shit makes me want to go to Cancun, bro.
I bet you if you went to Cancun, you would definitely miss Mundo.
I want to go to
Here we go.
Cancun, bro.
Oh, dude, that's nice. That's nice.
Cancun?
Here we go. You want let's kick it up a little notch right here. Come to El Mundo's. If you dare, take the challenge. The nuclear slider.
That'd be fire.
And then it like slides down the bar and it melts a little bit of the ice bar.
Oh yeah.
As it slides down toward the patron.
No. It'll leave a trail of fire as it slides down. Dude, that'd be cool. Shit.
Like, would you believe it that some people actually hang out in El Mundo's for the atmosphere?
Yeah, they got all them fire orbs coming around.
Yo, you guys see Bill and Ted's newest preview?
No.
What? What's wrong with you?
I tend to think it couldn't be good.
It's gonna be
How
amazing.
was it?
It's gonna be incredible. It's Bill and Ted, bro.
Yeah, I know, but it's 2020.
How
That's
can
the
it
problem.
be amazing? Wild Stallion.
It's 2020.
Hey, how hot-
There's a big
so
problemo.
How hot did it get over there today, guys?
It got pretty heated. I mean, especially between me and Kevin, we were
pretty hot, but
we were
it wasn't
almost
too
coming to
bad.
fisticuffs. It got really
pretty
heated. I
heated.
mean, we were arguing, and Kevin, he almost cried. He almost cried. Like I saw it in his eye today.
Poor Kevin.
But you know, I was calling him so many derogatory names. Like he was getting pretty upset. He was getting pretty upset. But you know,
Oh my gosh! Oh my god!
he was sweating. He was
Kevin,
sweating.
don't take the abuse,
Yo,
Kevin.
let me tell you how my day went, and I could do nothing but laugh. So, you know how we always talk about the burrito spot we used to always go to? So we said things are open, let's go check it out. So it was closed, no problem. So we go someplace else. I go to order something else that I've always eaten, and they were like, "Oh, we stopped making that." So I was like, "All right, fucking give me something else." So I order something else. We go to his car. I open it, and half of it falls to the floor.
Oh.
And I'm just like, oh man, it's going according to plan. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, it is what it is. That's exactly what was supposed to happen.
Oh, Kev, it was actually good that you didn't take that other bit. Like I offered Kev like I had an extra food, but he was like, nah, it's fine. But it's actually good that you didn't take that burger, whatever she gave me that I told you had vegetables in it. I'd never ordered that before. That was like a special. It was super spicy. You couldn't have done it. It was super spicy. It was like too much. I was like, oof.
My stomach has been amazing though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my stomach's been pretty good.
It might be only because like the shoulder hurts so bad that you could only kind of have one deal at once. Like, how many pains can you have at once?
My brain could deal with one thing at a time. It's like, nah, bro. Like, pick one.
It's funny as before I came on, I was playing Mortal Kombat with one of my girls, and she's all, Daddy, you gonna let me win one or what? So I'm all like, okay. I'm all like, all right. So here is the thing. I said, I tell you what, you can blindfold me,
and you'll still win.
I bet I could still beat you. And she goes, okay. So she puts a blindfold on me, right?
Were you just throwing fireballs?
No, I don't even know what I was throwing because I was completely blind.
It's like, come here, get over here.
So that's funny because I chose Scorpion, right? And I guess it's just muscle memory in seeing what was going on. I end up doing the finishing move on her. And she's all like, "Oh my God, Dad, that wasn't right."
She didn't like that at all.
I don't even know which move it was to the finishing move.
You'd be like, listen, losers don't get trophies in this house.
But apparently I tore up in 4 pieces.
Yo, that game got pretty brutal.
Yeah,
I mean, it's always been brutal, but it's gotten like real crazy.
It's
what do you mean? This is some kind of new version?
It's got a new version. Yeah, sick. Sick.
I want to play the 11 number 11 game.
Well, tomorrow apparently we're supposed to get a bunch of details. It's like the reveal of the PlayStation 5 tomorrow.
I don't need that shit.
So apparently there's some leaks out there, but there's the actual reveal tomorrow. And I hope to put off that purchase for as long as possible. That's what I did the last time. But what they do is, like, I had PlayStation 3 and I did not want to buy a PlayStation 4 because I had games for PlayStation 3. As Kevin knows, he would recommend me games like Arkham Asylum and different games, and I would never get to them. And to play those games, you need like PlayStation Plus, which means like you need to be like online and pay the $60 a year. And then they stopped offering that they were like, we're turning it off for PS3. You got to go for PS4, and that's when I had to go buy a PS4. But I hope to do that again. Where like hopefully they let the PS4 people keep playing for like a year, because I hear that this PS5 is going to cost a lot of money. Like it's going to cost it could cost like $600 or more.
No, I'm not getting that shit.
Damn.
I'm just guessing, but I heard it could be extremely expensive. So when I hear that, I think like $1,000, but I'm kind of toning it back from my prediction by saying, what could it be? Like, what could they expect to say? $599, and then at Christmas time it goes down to $549. But that's a crazy amount of money. Like, I don't know.
Damn, that price, you better be able to play 1, 2, 3, and 4 and 5 games.
I don't know.
Serious.
The one thing I heard they're going to do is like, they're going to put this thing out, and then what they're going to say is possibly is like, okay, Mundo, you just bought Mortal Kombat for PS4. If you buy a PS5, we'll give you Mortal Kombat for PS5. Like they might do something like that where they're like, okay, your account shows that you have the brand new XYZ game. So since you bought that for PS4, we want you to upgrade, and therefore we'll give you like the shinier, like better graphics, better sound version if you step up to the next system,
Well, I mean, that's the thing is, I mean, I'm not always to that, next biggest better thing, because I mean, honestly, not everybody's going to want to buy all these different games from the past, previous versions of those things. And then where does it all go? What is all those, you know, games that you have? You can't even get rid of them. You can't even sell them. You know, everybody wants the new, better, and best thing. And then for what? You're gonna buy 1 or 2 games, and then here comes the next, you know, the next PlayStation.
I just hate how they inevitably turn off the support for the old stuff. Like, at least with Apple or with the iPhone or with the, I don't know about the other brands of phones because I don't have them, but I mean, for all that I complain about Apple, at least there's some kind of support for the old model. Like, I have an iPhone 6. Now we're talking how many generations ago? I got it in 2014. We're talking at 6 years old. Whenever they put an update out, they do consider, like, they don't turn off my iPhone 6, but like that's what Sony would do if I had a PlayStation 3. They're like, hell to the no, you can't do this. But it's like, why? Like, so maybe I'm in some desert island and I just got the PS3. You know, like, why can't I go online with the PS3 or PS4 in the future? It's stupid.
See, I still have my PS2, and I love the.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
the PS2.
It is cool to have that old stuff sometimes.
Yeah, because I'd like one of the greatest games that I love is called Onimusha.
Oh yeah, I played it. I loved it. Is that where you steal the souls?
Dude. Yeah, well,
I love stealing
every time you defeat those soldiers. Every time you defeat a soldier, you get a soul, and you
gotta like suck it in.
Yeah, but then you get all the different weapons, you know, the different swords, the different like what do you call it? Like the fire, the wind, the different.
Oh, yeah. And that was one of those old school games. It was actually kind of hard. That was cool. You know, you had to develop a little bit of a skill to keep going across the board.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. I love games that make you think a little bit, because I mean, just a fighter game that there's no thought process involved in it. You don't need to use your brain. I mean, it's kind of redundant, you know. I mean, you go and at it and fighting and this, and there's no thought process to it. You just kick, punch, you know, whatever. But then you got a puzzle that you got to open up just to get to the next place. Hey, wait a minute now. You're using your brain.
Mundo, are you going to buy the Cyberpunk?
Oh,
Cyberpunk 2077?
Definitely want that joint.
I love these. I hope it's going to be like an open world. I haven't looked too much into it, but I just love these open world type games, like these Red Dead Redemption or GTA. They're just so incredible that you could go about the mission in whichever angle you want to. You can come at it however you want to. That is so cool. I've always loved it. And I feel like even those older ones, like Mundo, you're talking about PS2, and especially the PS2, it was the most interesting time of being able to do that, because it was like the first time of doing like Grand Theft Auto in 3D, and they put out these San Andreas, I think, and then one other one where it was like the 80s, it was like Miami Vice, or it was like a Miami Vice GTA style game. And
they were Soul Reaver. Did you play that one?
No, was that an open world?
No, well, it's kind of not it's probably not an open world, but it's kind of like. It's kind of like an Onimusha, but it's like you're in a vampiric world, and you move from different worlds. You go from the living world to the ghostly, or you know, vampiric world and stuff like that.
What's the name of this game?
Called Soul Reaver.
That sounds cool. I love vampires.
Sounds familiar.
Soul Reaver. Yeah, I mean, it's like. It's about a vampire who's been broken by his family or one of the hierarchy, and they didn't want him to become part of the hierarchy, so they literally, you know, beat the crap out of him and left him for dead, and he was reborn to take souls and to find out who did all this, and he had to go through different worlds in order.
Everybody loves souls.
How did he take the souls? It sounds familiar.
He had a what? I think he just brought it in. I think he's got like a necklace or something, like a chain, and kind of like a Doctor Strange thing. I haven't played it in a while, but
okay, I remember this. It's right here.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I still have the game, and I play it every once in a while when I get a chance to, because the storyline.
Primal Gamer is here. What's going on, buddy?
Primal Gamer.
Primal Gamer. Bro? Welcome.
So you know
the
what
lighting is looking good. He's saying to you, Kevin. That's awesome. Yeah, I think it looks great too.
Appreciate that.
That looks wicked like that, though, Kev.
Thank you. So what I remember from the days of Soul Reaver was remember going to the video stores and renting games for like 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Do they do that anymore? Do they still do that?
I never.
No, I think they do, but you don't physically go. But you can rent games still.
You just go through.
Well, the PlayStation Network, you can do that.
Yeah.
You can buy them, but I mean, and if you rent them, I never saw the advantage of renting them over buying them, because eventually
somebody like my old roommate, Chris, who Kevin knows played a lot of video games. He loved renting back in the day, because I would ask, see, for me, it would take me like a month to get through a game. But for him, he could play one of the games that, like, if you could get through it in about 8 hours, he could probably do it in about 6. And that was fine for him. He wasn't going to really replay it most of the time.
Yeah, I used to love renting games.
Yeah. So I would ask him, say, how come you rent games? And he would say, because I could beat it and then get another one, and it's not worth my $59, whatever, to do the game that way. Because he would come across a lot of duds. Like, I remember one time he rented like a Superman game that was just total trash. And then another time he either bought or rented an Iron Man game, and he was really, really mad because this Iron Man game, it was terrible. It was like universally known after it came out for being like one of the worst games that ever came out. It was awful. And I remember him just being so mad. But that was one of the reasons why he would rent, because he was like, I'm not going through that where like you pay $60 and the game is total trash. Like they had a couple Superman games that were just really, really they were crap,
Yeah.
Remember Nintendo games, like back in the 80s, you would buy them, and if they were garbage, you just had no choice. You just like try to trade it at school.
What do you mean if they were garbage? Like if they didn't work, or if it was just a bad game?
If it was just a bad game, you just go to school like, yo, you want to trade? I'll trade you for bad dudes.
I had two favorite ones, which was the Mike Tyson Punch-Out and
the best.
All-Star Super Dodgeball.
Oh, I don't remember that game.
I mean, I liked games that you would probably consider bad. Like if you're saying Bad Dudes was bad, I liked Bad Dudes.
No, Bad Dudes was the best. Are you crazy?
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying that was bad. I
was saying I'll trade you for Bad Dudes.
Oh, okay.
Was that the war one where you and
it was just like on the streets, like street?
I think it was like Final Fight, but like before that.
Bad Dudes was the best.
I love the Kari Warriors, man.
Remember Rygar was my joint?
Oh, Rygar, yeah, there you go.
That's old as hell.
Yeah, but it was a good game.
I think I had Rygar for PS3 as well. They had like a newer like Rygar for PS3, and it was sweet.
They had a Rygar for PS3?
I believe so. They had this. Isn't that the game where his arm extends almost like Bionic Commando back in the day?
Well, it was
something on a chain.
It was like a chain and shield thing where
you could swing it around, and you have different attachments to it. Yeah. They had like a newer version for the PS3 that I had gotten, and I
don't remember that. But I'm not really.
I never saw one out here. I didn't even know one existed for the PS3. I would have gotten it.
If my memory serves me correctly, it could have been the previous system. I think it was the PS3.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, I didn't even have a chance to get a PS4, so I still have my 3.
3 is official.
I used my 3 up until the Blu-ray player stopped functioning on it. It still played
really?
it still played like CDs, but I guess like the literal Blu-ray quit because it still did CDs and it still did like everything else, but it just wouldn't play any Blu-ray. And to be quite honest, that was like a big reason why I had a PS3. It was because it was like a Blu-ray all-in-one. Do you remember that? And when it came out, it was a really affordable Blu-ray because Blu-rays weren't like 80 or 60 bucks like they are now. They were they were like 400. So when you were like, well, it's a no-brainer to just buy a PS3 for like 400 when the Blu-rays cost like 300 anyway or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yo, did y'all see the last Clone Wars? Primal Game is asking.
Yes.
Worth it?
The whole season, I'm like a bad person to ask because I'm kind of biased against the Clone Wars. I really don't like the Clone Wars that much. There's some aspects to it I do like, and there's some lightsaber aspects to it that I like, and there's some fight aspects to it that I like, and I do like how they used some live actors such as the actual Darth Maul guy, Ray Park, did the live action maneuvers for the cartoon for the season 7.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the fights towards the end with Ahsoka Tano were actually choreographed in real life and motion captured and brought into the digital realm that way. So that was really cool. And you could tell by looking at it that something was special there. But a lot of the stuff I just inherently do not believe in about the Clone Wars. So like, for instance, Ahsoka Tano, I just don't think that there was like time, space, or anything, or like anyone would let Anakin train somebody. I think that that's crazy to me. Like to put a life in his hands at like a 20-year-old, but I mean, I don't know. That seems weird. And then also that Darth Maul is still alive seems weird. So a lot of the basis for where that show, like the roots of the show, I don't believe in them. So it's kind of like a farce to me. But if I accept all that, like I do like the action, I like a lot of that stuff. And when they're up in space, when they're doing a lot of their ship maneuvers and stuff, I mean, it looks so real because the animation is like, that 3D animation works fantastic for like for objects, blocky things, ships, planets, atmospheres. It's only when you get to like the people does it look a little fake, you know? When they're showing all that stuff like speeder bikes, anything with a spaceship, anything with an aircraft, it looks so amazing. And then the music involved in it too is great. So, you know, you do get a Star Wars experience, but it just doesn't seem like a fully 100% legitimate Star Wars experience to me, because to me, they brought in characters who were like surely dead and characters that surely couldn't exist, right, in the storyline that I'm accustomed to. But accepting all that, it's like you can have fun. You can have fun like watching that series.
Well, I thought he trained Ahsoka without the knowledge. Well, not without the knowledge of the council, but kind of like defiant, like, you know, F you, I'm gonna train her regardless what you say.
Is that how he kind of took her on?
To me, that's what I got from the show, was that the council didn't have a choice whether he trained her or not. He went ahead and started training her because he was already headed towards, like, you know, he already had that chip on his shoulder against Obi. And so he was kind of like, you know what, I'm going to take a Padawan on myself. And if y'all don't like it, tough, too bad, you know. And they had to, that's what I got from the show, that he got, you know, he just defined everything that they told him to do, but at the same time kind of keeping good graces here and there, you know, just to satisfy certain parts of the Jedi aspect. But at the same time, he's like, I'm gonna do my own thing and they can't tell me nothing.
Yeah, and then like, I mean, that she was established,
that's what I got from it
as a Jedi. I did appreciate what she brought to the table. Like, I thought that it was cool to have her there. You know, it was, to me, you know, I understand what you're saying. I just feel like Ahsoka could have been brought in a different way rather than like trying to. It's almost like, you know, when you're trying to squeeze into a packed elevator. That's what it seemed like to me, where like you didn't have to do that. You could have had Ahsoka, like, let's say, be someone's Padawan that died, like they died, and now he, you know, they're gonna help her out a bit because she doesn't have a master anymore. I mean, there's a couple different ways you had to do it. It's like all this insertion that they're always trying to do with like every property to say that everybody's related, you know. And it kind of started back in the prequel trilogy a little bit when they said that Anakin made C-3PO. That's when it started to get a little weird, you know. You're like, wait, really? Everybody's just connected now, you know? It's like, that's stupid. But that's where
see, to me, that to me was kind of messed up, because if he made C-3PO and C-3PO never really acknowledged him on who he was when he became Vader at that point, you know, there was no reference. C-3PO had no reference.
Well, C-3PO's like memory was always wiped, though. Like if you remember, they're always like wiping 3PO's memory. R2 is a different story. He always like had his memory. But whenever they would say like wipe the droid's memory, or like they would say wipe the protocol droid's memory and stuff like that, and he'd be like, oh my, or something like that. You know, he was always like getting his memory wiped.
Yo, that was
well, that's true.
really
But then R2
answer, let me tell you. What time was he say? He said he loved it, but he was
He's mad with the lack of Grievous. And then he says, the main reason I loved it is just when that show came out, it was literally 5 years old.
Yeah, it's nostalgic.
Well, that's good then, that, you know, that was an incredible show to have come out.
Have hang-ups.
You know, Primal Gamer, I hope that you have watched the previous Clone War cartoon, the one that came out as a prototype, whatever you want to call it, a pilot to this series, where it wasn't 3D, but it was drawn in a 2D, like Samurai Jack style, from the Samurai Jack artist creator, and it was great, and the story didn't hurt. You know, they didn't try to insert stuff, and if you like Grievous, I think you would love the original Clone Wars series.
You probably saw it.
It's only about there's what, maybe 30 or 40 minutes of it, because what they did was they had like 3-minute episodes that they just combined. You could get the DVD, or you could probably get the Blu-ray. You could probably get it online. That you just can watch them all back to back, because it is like a succinct little story of how Anakin became a Jedi Knight, and nothing in there like really hurts the lore. It's very cool. They show General Grievous as a real threat, and he's actually killing and hurting Jedi really, really bad. And they show, you know, Obi-Wan and Anakin like in a truer light, I thought, and also Mace Windu and Yoda.
Oh, speaking of Mace Windu, I would love to see Finn become be part of like a Windu in the future movies.
I kind of hope they just like get rid of these new movies and pretend they never happened. Like maybe someone else buys, I don't know, someone else buys Star Wars or something.
Here's what I would like to see, because we never saw Mace Windu. You know, he got, you know, thrown out the window, but nobody knows exactly what happened. The speeder could have come and he fell on the speeder, you know, and so you don't know whether he really died or not. I mean, if they did the same thing with Palpatine,
like if they did the same thing with Maul, like if Maul is alive, then that dude might be alive, right?
Yeah, exactly. So if Windu is alive, I would love to see Windu be in training Finn in these next movies coming up, because if
like, why not at this point? Why not just bring him in?
And then he's gonna say, "I'm your dad" or something.
Yeah, I'm your father.
I would not. Well, yeah, probably like his uncle or something like that. But
everybody's related. Like the universe is only like 2 blocks wide.
And his name is actually really Finley.
but it would make sense. It would make sense that he has force powers because he was taken when he was young, and if Windu was out there, you know. But of course, he would just kind of like, okay, I need somebody on the inside. I'll let him have him for now.
I think they should train him. I think they should reintroduce Jar Jar Binks' wife. She was out for revenge. That'll be fire. Pure fire. Pure flames.
Force flip.
Which on your Star Wars lightsabers? Force your rising. Go! I got it! Me too! Zap! Zap! Zap!
Warning! Warning! Thermal meltdown.
Is that the main drink? I don't know if I wrote that one down. Thermal meltdown? Or no, nuclear.
No, sun flare. Sun
I
flare.
think that was a
nuclear slider.
We got okay.
The main one was a
Thermal
flare, right?
meltdown. So that's like the mid range drink there, I guess.
Thermal meltdown is dope. We first said thermal thaw though, but thermal meltdown is cool.
Yeah.
Well, there could be different drinks. There's a lot of shots available.
Yeah, leading, then we got the what we call it, the nuclear slider. And then the solar flare. Solar flare is on the house.
Solar flare is dope.
See, Mundo, I think like some laser beams come out of your eye. Like you must have like robot eyeballs. Like take a look at this graphic. Like some lasers come out that you ignite the drink with.
There you go.
So I think that's kind of how you like ignite it. Like you know how they'll bring you that special dessert sometimes.
Fucking maniac, man. You're a maniac.
I was thinking like Tony Stark's Armor Man.
Right, oh yeah, right comes out of your hand.
Yeah, like a thermal flamer. Yeah,
that'd be pretty crazy.
Lose it, kick it, burn fat.
That's crazy.
That's funny. Use it now. Drink it now.
Hey Mundo, I wonder if like in your bar you have like, have you ever been to one of those like dance clubs like in New York or whatever where like there's people in cages? Like
I went to sit
like I wonder if there's like something like that. Like is there like an ice cage or is there some kind of cage where there's like people in there or maybe animals? I don't know.
I think animals there. I think
there's like a polar bear in there.
in Vegas, man, some of them there's a couple of dance clubs that have cages where people stand in there and dance and all that shit.
Yeah, it's dope.
Yeah, maybe I saw it in Vegas too.
I don't understand. I don't see why they need a cage to dance in, but oh well.
Well, it's just, supposed to look like erotic, like look, we've captured a dancer, I guess is what I don't know what they're saying.
I don't know. I don't know what the thinking on that is, but I mean, come on.
Or like, are you supposed to throw dollar bills up in there or something?
I don't know, but over here in Texas, man, the ladies get up on the bar, shit. So.
Or maybe it's that they don't want to be touched, so it's like protection against assault.
Yeah, could be. But then again, these ladies are cats over here, man. You touch them the wrong way, prepare to get decked.
Prepare to get what?
Yeah.
Decked.
Oh.
Hit in the fucking face. Part of my French.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen those dancers like kick a few dudes in the face with their boots.
What? Why? Why would they do that?
I mean, because dudes always get drunk and they think they're smoother than they are.
You mean those like clear, like high boots?
Yeah, like they always got like the highest, thickest boots ever. I think that's why they wear them. Like
Those are Anthony's favorite dancers, so he can practice his martial arts.
Oh my God, I just got a great idea with those clear boots. Like, how about in our world, like maybe in Mundo's bar, the chicks and like the hookers, instead of having
there's hookers in the bar?
those, they're ice. Instead of clear like acrylic, they're ice boots.
Oh damn. Okay, so how are they gonna get the ice? Well,
like,
so
I think they must have like
of
robot legs to wear ice boots or something, right?
Well,
like they would have like
they would
normal
have
legs.
to. Well, here's the thing: if you're gonna describe that and they have the ice boots, they gotta have those like special nano socks that keep their feet warm,
but yet don't melt the boots.
But don't melt the boots. Yeah, they're like nano socks that are like clear. You know, so you just describe it as they have the nano socks that are like clear as glass, and that's how they can wear the ice boots.
If anyone asks.
If anyone asks. But there's your idea. I mean, you know, gotta throw it out there.
That's awesome. Yeah, anybody has ideas, we use them in the comic book Albatross Junction in a future issue, or if we work it out into current issue.
I mean, good ideas.
Good ideas.
Yeah, good ideas.
But we always consider whatever ideas, because it's hard to tell if it's a good idea sometimes right at first.
Yeah.
Got to do some good brainstorming. Good brainstorming.
Yeah, that's what these Wednesday shows are for, especially as we get closer to October, when this Albatross Junction comic book comes out, where, you know, and people get used to the story a little more, especially, you know, after the book comes out. And if you read it and get used to the story, then come and talk to us on Wednesday night, and we'll consider whatever ideas for like the future issues, because there's lots of room for new characters. There's lots of room for little details that, you know, there's a plot, there's an overarching plot, but there's a lot of room for details.
Even small details may become big things.
Totally. I'm a believer in that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always paying attention when I'm watching like a show or movie, because I feel like you never know when, like I was just watching a show where a main character got sick with AIDS, and you don't find that out until like one of the very last episodes. And if you think back, you're like, oh, on the person's neck was a dark spot that they never explained. When they took their shirt off, you could see like marks, and it went on for like seasons like that, and it never was asked by any character, and you never got to think about it too much. But when you look back on it after you find out the fact, you're like, oh, those like bruises never went away. You know what I'm saying? Like the character had these bruises that never went, and you're like, oh, okay, those details did mean something big, didn't they? You know?
Yeah, that's dope. That's cool.
It is. It really is.
And that's the type of thing too that is really, really excellent to try to get into the really, really early issues. You know, we're always given examples on the show about properties like Game of Thrones and different properties that drop a whole lot of info and characterization in the very first issue or episode. So we want to do that as much as possible too, where future stuff is foreshadowed. There are details that are shown that you could look back to later and be able to see, oh, that's why that was there. And then there's going to be fun stuff hidden there too. Like we're still doing our little lightsaber hunt, where there's going to be little lightsabers, and if you find all of them in the issue they're going to be, you know, mostly in the background and stuff, kind of like you were talking before, Mundo and Kevin, about them hiding the dicks and stuff, or whatever they were hiding, sex words and stuff like that. We're hiding little lightsabers, and if you do find all of them, you're gonna win some kind of lightsaber or something. We're trying to figure out what that prize is going to be. But you also have to be the first one to kind of tell us about it too. So if you are in one of the if you were in the first campaign and able to get the first printing, then you know, but you probably don't really have a chance, because Mundo will probably find all the lightsabers first. I think he's got it on lock. He's probably already looking for him. Okay, but I like what you're doing with the little sizzling stuff there. It almost looks like that stuff is very erratic, and I think that's how like a nuclear material would be. Like, just sizzling off in every direction.
Yeah, that looks killer. That's like sweet. That. I really like how it comes off, and then you got your just enough light on him, just like that. That really looks
good. Looking good.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Looking good.
Really sick.
Does Pike Berg have a symbol?
We haven't made one yet.
I haven't made one.
We spoke about it though. Remember, you got the Jesus in Rio.
Oh right, the star. We do have a star. Okay.
Hey, what are those fonts?
It's for off his lightsaber. Mundo's lightsabers. Almost operational. Almost fully operational. Mundo, what is that pile of garbage you have there? Are you a hoarder? Is that your dining room table? Or is that your garage?
No, it's just my garage. I'm spring cleaning.
I think you got all the neighborhood bicycles over there. They better report you. I think you've been taking these kids' bicycles. The police have been searching and searching, and they haven't found it. All the bikes are in your garage.
What was that one? What was that one movie with John Belushi? Not John, James Belushi. Excuse me. It was with James Belushi and John Ritter.
James Belushi and John Ritter. What was it about?
James Belushi was a kind of like a CIA, and John Ritter was just kind of like your average Joe person that, you know, everybody just walked all over him, you know. And
no, I don't remember that.
James Belushi is kind of like after this kind of like good package or something like that, and it's an alien tech, right? And so he comes and he ends up at John Ritter's house and gets into the middle of a gunfight with these bad guys, and John Ritter's like, "What the hell are you doing in my house?" You know. But before all that, John Ritter's boy loses his bike to some bullies, right? And he goes to try to get the boy's bike, and they just kind of like whip him and kick his butt and don't even give him the bike back. You know, he's just a wimp, basically, right? He's just a wimp. So by the end of the movie, John Ritter becomes like the CIA, like James, and he reverts to like what John Ritter's character was. So they switch places basically, right? And oh man, you know what? Because I have the movie, I'm gonna find the title and I'm gonna text it to y'all. I'll email it to you so that y'all can watch it.
That's one of my favorite scenes in my favorite movie, The Long Kiss Goodnight, is when the housewife who turns into like the super spy, she comes upon one of the neighborhood boys that I guess the neighborhood boy like plays with her daughter or something, but he's like a bad kid. Like he's sitting there smoking a cigarette, and he's like, I don't know, 12 years old or 11 years old. And when he sees her as this super spy holding a machine gun, and normally he's used to her being this housewife lady that he disrespects, and she's got this machine gun, and he tells her like, didn't I tell you to not to smoke or something like that? She takes his cigarette from him and takes a puff of it, and he pisses his pants. And I just love that scene.
Yeah,
I remember
that was a cool scene.
Yo, it's called Real Men.
Yeah, there you go, Real Men. Real Men. There you go.
Yeah, I got to see this shit. I've never seen this.
Oh, you got to watch it, dude. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. It's a great. It's a great story, and it's a good movie all the way around.
Gotta check it out. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
These two were point on their acting skills in this movie.
Yeah, they were always hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the days.
I love Three's Company, I'll tell you.
Oh yeah, that was classic, man. Classic.
What do you think of the odds of Ghost Rider making it in the MCU?
Well, they got to do him right. If they're gonna bring him in the MCU, they got to do it right.
I wonder if it's going to be that new Ghost Rider.
What's the new Ghost
Rider? He has a muscle car instead of a motorcycle.
Oh, I don't like that.
Oh, the Spanish one, the Spanish guy.
Is that what he is? Yeah.
Yeah, he's Spanish.
Yeah, but what happened? But
I think there's something else about him too, like he travels through space or something. I forget.
Well, see, that's the thing is that even though this is a new guy, a new Ghost Rider, I still think they should bring the original Ghost Rider in instead of having this new Ghost Rider come out for the MCU.
I mean, it kind of makes sense. That was always a story. Like when you meet Johnny Blaze, that was just his. It was his turn.
Yeah, Johnny Blaze is the actual character that needs to be out. In the MCU, you can't start with this new Ghost Rider. I mean, to me that's just.
I think no. I'm saying I'm not really opposed to it because
they change. You're saying
it could just start as Johnny Blaze is done. It's your turn.
Like the Herald of Galactus is not always Silver Surfer.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing. If you're gonna bring in a new person as the Ghost Rider, a new Ghost Rider, you need to show the transition of that type of character.
That would actually be a great beginning to show.
That'd be
come
dope.
into the story super late, where Johnny Blaze is giving up the mantle to this new person. Then, like in the first 10 minutes of the movie, almost like it's Green Lantern, where the forget the dude's name, but the dude who's Green Lantern before Hal Jordan is like dying and then passes the ring. Something like that maybe would be an interesting beginning.
Yeah, see, and that's what they need to do, and that's what makes sense to bring in the new form of these characters. Like you were saying, if you have this one person playing Green Lantern, and then you have a new guy that's going to be the next Green Lantern, show the transition to that new guy so that when they start all these other different movies, everybody's like, you know what? Yeah, that's cool. He passed the torch to this guy, so he is the new Green Lantern. And because if you just stick a new Green Lantern in without no rite of passage, I don't know. You can't really get into that character too much. You know what I mean? Because you don't know who this guy is. What's he done to deserve the ring? How is he going to be this, that? And then they want you to enjoy all these different stories, but you have no idea what happened for him to take over Hal Jordan's spot.
Or it could be flashbacks too, where like you see this guy as Ghost Rider, and then maybe they do flashbacks to previous Ghost Riders to explain the Ghost Rider like legacy, or the way that works, the way that his powers work. That could happen, or whatever like new calamity. Like maybe there's a new calamity, almost like in Korra, the Last Airbender, if that's what it's called.
You know what I wouldn't be opposed to? Like, say that the kid is like living his life, he's going through whatever he's going through, and like there's a guy always trying to like help him out, like a store owner or some shit like that. You know what I mean? And at the end, you realize like the store owner like just blasts out with the skull on fire. He helped someone last time. It's like he's always been his mentor throughout the whole movie. You know what I mean? And he's like, listen, I can't do this no more. That's why I'm telling you, you got to step up. Blah 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 blah. And you'd be like, oh,
yeah,
that'd be sick.
Now, see, that would be good. That would be good because that's a clear-cut transition right there.
Yeah, that'd be sick. I think they'll always like nod back to the original some way or another.
Well, you have to give props to the originals that come before, because if you don't know what the backstory is or how even the progression came about. And I think progression of a character comes with those backstories, the flashbacks, and and everything else in between.
Yeah, definitely. Oh man,
that's kind of why I didn't think that Captain Marvel really stood on its own too well, because it was sandwiched in there in between some bigger movies, and I feel like if you didn't see those other ones, I guess you could argue, well, who wouldn't have seen them? But I feel like if you didn't see some of those other Marvel movies and you were just going to watch Captain Marvel, it would be a very strange situation. I if you imagine you walked into that situation seeing like the Skrulls and the Samuel L. Jackson, it's like almost like you had to know something before you step in there.
Well, see, wasn't part of the story why Carol Danvers became Captain Marvel was because Rogue took all of her power basically before then, and then
there's like different iterations of Captain Marvel, and I don't know if that was the one that's
the one that I've always known.
That's the one that I knew too, but I guess with these movies they don't have the rights, or they didn't at the time, to the X-Men, so they couldn't do anything like that because Rogue's a part of the X-Men, and they couldn't use the X-Men, right? Because the other company owned the X-Men until they actually gained control of them, like later that year. But they didn't have them at the time. Like they can't use the term mutants or anything like that.
See, and that's what kind of sucks about that movie, is because we know, you and I know, that growing up, that in the comic books, Rogue is the one that took her powers originally when she was something else. And then after her powers were gone, she ended up with that other race, and they gave her new powers to become Captain Marvel.
That's such a better story.
It is. It really is. I mean,
talk about like intertwining characters too. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And it didn't even have to be. They could have just put a flashback in there, like you say, Ant, to show that that's what really happened. And then that's where, after she was left for dead with, from Rogue, and Rogue was just, I don't remember the whole story. I think Rogue was, she wasn't pissed off about it. And she was just like, accidentally did it. And she felt real bad about draining her powers, but she couldn't.
Where she had no control over it, and she just did it to the point where in that story, I think she meant to do it. I forget how that story went. Like I think she meant to do it, but she maybe have not meant to kill her, which I don't know if did she kill her or she just sent her away with like nothing.
Oh yeah, I think she was just trying to stop her from something, but she went too far.
Yeah,
something like that. I have to go back because I think I have a couple of those issues with the X-Men where she does take her power or something. I have to look in my stash.
Primal Gamer says, my friend's first Marvel movie was Endgame and was so confused. Yeah, could you imagine going into Endgame without seeing another Marvel movie, and you just see like 1,800 heroes like jump on screen and be teleported into the action at the? It's like, wait, what? And then they're all making these like
no wonder he's
like
confused.
their little jokes and stuff as they enter the
yourself at the service.
Yeah, got to start from the the first one, then because you're missing a lot. At that point,
Yeah, hell
you're
of a
missing
lot.
a
Hell
lot.
of a lot.
I'd be
Missing
confused
days
too.
of information.
There's some standalone movies that actually have a clear cut plot with what's going on, that does make sense. Yeah, it's okay. But when you miss something like that, where you miss that many movies, it's kind of hard to really know exactly what's going
I
on.
mean, it's a true investment though to get to those 22 movies that come before that, or 21 movies.
Time to binge watch.
Watch a couple of YouTube videos.
I think if you just watched like Doctor Strange and maybe one or two of the Iron Man movies, I think you'd be in pretty good shape to take on like an end game. You know, you kind of need to know Doctor Strange though. And, you know, I guess through just living life, you know, Spider-Man. So if you just check out Iron Man 1 and like Doctor Strange, and then maybe like Thor 3 or one of the earlier Avengers movies, like Avengers 1 or something, I think you'd be in pretty good shape.
Yeah. I agree.
Unpopular opinion, Black Panther is overrated. Primal Gamer says, you mean the movie or the character? The movie, you know, all these new movies in my, like, I overrate them in my own mind. Like, I walk out of Doctor Strange saying that was like the best movie I ever saw. I walk out of Black Panther just loving it, saying that was the best thing I ever saw. But then, you know what? If that was the best thing I ever saw, why didn't I rush to see it again? And none of these movies I had rushed to see again. The only one that I really liked watching maybe 3-4 times was Thor Ragnarok. Thor 3.
Right? I watched that the other day with my guys at work, man. I put it on for them.
That's hilarious.
It is. It really is.
I get a lot of enjoyment out of Civil War as well. Like Civil War for just pure superhero action is pretty great. Like, you know, it shows their powers really, really nicely. Like there's like one scene where Wanda lifts up Captain America and he goes through a window and you get to see his extra strength powers, and you get to see a lot of their talents in like just a couple minute scene, and it's a really well done movie.
Who's this you talking about?
The Civil War movie by the Russo brothers. Really well done.
Who picked up Captain America?
Wanda, the Scarlet Witch.
Oh,
yeah. She has like those red powers that she was like throwing him through a window when he needed to be, you know, launched or something.
Yeah.
Kevin, do you know what this image you're drawing right now in red reminds me of? The cape of the dead Superman on that 1990s
remember that
cover.
Oh yeah.
How it was like it was ripped and it was stuck up on a stick, like a stake.
Yeah, that was dope.
Wow.
That was big news. That made the newspaper when Superman died.
That was crazy. That was crazy.
That did, and so did Chewbacca. When they killed Chewbacca in one of the Star Wars books, that made it to the newspaper. Like my mom would show me this stuff. I was like, she's like, look, they killed Superman. I'm like, what? And then like, of course, we had to go buy that comic. You know, we bought. You know, there was like one comic where I think Spider-Man got married. We went and bought that comic. That was in the newspaper. They killed Chewbacca in one of the expanded universe books called the New Jedi Order books, where he actually got struck in the forehead with a moon. Which was pretty effing epic. You know, at the time it pissed a lot of people off and people were like, that's stupid. But then when we saw what they did recently with these movies and how stupidly they killed people, that doesn't seem so dumb anymore. You know, it actually seems pretty epic to get hit in the head with a moon rather than to have your main characters just overdose on the Force and just pass away from like some kind of overexertion. It's the most ridiculous thing I could imagine. You know, like a Jedi master overexerting himself in the Force to the point of a suicide, and then to have his sister do it too. It's just the stupidest. Who wrote that?
That's what. Yeah, that's kind of what really. I didn't like that too much either. I thought it was kind of silly. How can you be that powerful and then die that quickly?
Yeah.
Like, really? I mean, come on.
So weak.
I thought.
What a lack of imagination.
It was very weak, man. I mean,
imagine a 40-year saga, and you say, well, oh my God, like imagine in 1983, someone was able to do an interview with someone from the future and say, oh my God, you know, I can't believe I'm talking to someone from the future. I'm the hugest Star Wars fan. Tell me what happens to Luke Skywalker. They're like, listen, well, first of all, you got to wait like 43 years before you see Luke Skywalker again. The person be like, oh my God, really? That's incredible news. But I can't believe I have you here. You're from the future. Tell me, you got to tell me, what happens in the future with Luke Skywalker. They'll be like, listen, I got some bad news for you. You know, you actually don't make it. You know, 43 years from now, you're no longer alive. So you actually won't see this. But since I'm from the future, I'll tell you, Luke Skywalker dies from an overdose within just a few minutes of seeing the character. It'd be like, wait, what? Could you imagine that? Could you imagine the crushing feeling in 1983 of like an overdose? Overdose on what? And then the person from the future would say, listen, you know, that Force is some strong stuff. Yeah. That Force is some strong shit. And if you sniff too much of that shit up your nose, like Luke Skywalker, you are going to die. You're going to drift away. And then, okay, so wait, you got to tell me, you know, man from the future, what happens to Leia, his sister, who we just heard in the movie that she's, you know, a Jedi too, potentially. Oh, you wouldn't believe it. She ODs on the Force as well. Passes away.
Here's what I was imagining for the ending, and I think it would have been epic. Okay, and this is my opinion, of course, my opinion. And but what I was imagining for the ending of it is that actually Luke fights Palpatine, right? And he defeats him. You know, we go through just like Rey did, you know, takes care of Palpatine just like Rey. However, there was one little nick that he got, but he didn't pay attention to, right? So at the end of the battle, he goes with Rey and passes on Leia's saber to her, right? And they're on Tatooine, and they're both looking at the moons when he passes the saber, and he puts his arm around her, and then he disappears from the Force.
So in your version, episode 8 did happen the way it happened, but then in episode 9, he's a Force ghost doing that? Or you're saying
no,
not dead?
In episode 8, okay, he lives, he passes Leia's saber to Rey, right?
Okay.
But he has his saber, the one in Empire Strikes Back. You know, when Vader grabs his saber and says your powers are complete, your skills are complete. The green one, the green saber. He has his green saber, and that's what he uses to fight Palpatine with in 9, right? Okay. Now Kylo is still bad guy. He's not Ben yet. Leia still dies the way she dies, just to bring Ben back to the light. And Leia goes because she passes on from that, because she never got trained as powerful as Luke, so she really couldn't handle that much Force compared to Luke. But in episode 9, where he passes the torch to Rey after the battle with Palpatine, he got nicked so bad that he was already dying.
Oh, okay.
But when he was already dying, but he didn't show any signs of him being hurt or anything. He wanted to use all of his Force powers to stay alive until he could pass Leia's saber to Rey at the end when they're both looking at the moons, and then he disappears, into the Force.
Mm.
It's kind of hard to explain how I see it, but in my mind, that Palpatine was still not around, right, for 8, but in the background he was kind of running the puppets with Kylo.
He's lurking.
He's lurking, and he's actually trying to manipulate. He's manipulating Kylo to do all of this, right? And Rey tries to bring him back, like the whole story. But the only difference is that Luke is still alive, and at the end, he prepares to fight with Palpatine.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the story leaves off, is where he's on that rock preparing for Palpatine. And so then by 9, he's ready to fight Palpatine. And then it goes to where he fights him. He gets hurt, but he doesn't show it. Passes the Leia saber to Rey, and Rey takes the saber. Doesn't build her own new saber until later on in the other new movies, and uses her saber for a good while, and then cut to the end. That's where Luke dies. So Palpatine's defeated. He goes and he dies with the Force, but like I said, he had his hand around Rey, and they're both looking at the two suns in the desert.
It maybe would have been better if like Rey comes up at some point to tell that Kylo that like I'm your sister, and then you got to shape up. You're supposed to be the older brother or something like that.
Well, no,
what a bad example you are.
No, I kind of like the fact that they weren't related like that. I honestly like that aspect, that they weren't related, so it made sense that she kind of liked him. It's the only one out of the whole movie set where nobody's related to that person.
Well, they actually are related though, because like Palpatine did some Sith magic, made Anakin with Shmi Skywalker. Anakin pops out, and then later on, it's apparently Rey is this guy's granddaughter, so they are kind of related, right?
Oh wow, yeah. You're
guess.
Right.
But they never really explored that too much in the movie to say like, oh.
Well, because it would have been the incest thing, I mean.
Oh.
If they were that closely related.
Well, they were like cousins though at best. They're like second cousins, so it's no big deal. They can get married.
Y'all come back now, you hear? The Space Beverly Hillbillies.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Ooh, Kev, that's got to be another poster right there with the Divots, man.
Yeah, it could be.
I like how all the blood is coming out there. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Well, and a trading card too. I mean, shoot, Well, these days you're gonna get away with a lot of stuff that matters. Oh man, that looks sweet. The red with the.
Oh, I was gonna ask for sparks. That's sweet. Fireworks.
That is cool. Some one of that individual ant that drew me the dragon and the other drawing.
Yep.
He drew me one of Star Wars with Vader fighting Luke Skywalker today.
Oh,
not
awesome.
today, but yesterday.
Sick.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
He's
I have
talented.
to find ways to keep him busy. So
That's good work.
he's pretty talented, man.
Yeah, I think so.
For an individual. Man.
Did I miss the picture? Did you show it?
I don't have it ready. I don't
No,
know
I'm talking about the picture you said somebody drew at work.
Yeah, Mundo sent it to me.
Yeah.
I should have got it ready to show on the show.
Oh. What's wrong with you, man?
Man, I thought he would have showed it to you by now, Kev.
You know what I'm saying, man? Falling off, man.
Yeah, we have an individual who's he's pretty decent at drawing, man, for who he is.
Nice,
You know.
nice. Nice.
Yeah, when his teacher's not there, I try to keep him busy making drawings and stuff. So he does a pretty good job for the most part.
Hey, he's just going off memory.
Yeah, he just draws to draw, man. I mean,
Dope.
sometimes he'll look at a picture and he can draw it, you know. Not exactly how it is, but you know, in his version of it. Yeah. Yeah, he drew a dragon and T2 Terminator on fire, so to speak.
Oh, that's cool. It's a cool.
Yeah, and we'll show you. Ed can show you the pictures after a while.
It's a random combo.
Yeah, random combo. But he does all kinds of things. I mean, he'll do like different things to draw and so forth. Oh my gosh, who's doing that? Okay. Either the wife or the girls is messing with me.
Throwing stuff at you.
They think the garage light is gonna become a saber now. Okay, it's the wife.
Hey, who took all my waters? Those were my waters.
Hold on, guys, real quick. I'm gonna just grab a drink right here, real quick.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, I got it, but now I'm trying to get it up on screen here. Okay, now it's working.
Yeah. Luckily, I have a.
Oh,
That's
nice.
good, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the best.
There you go.
That T2 is sick.
I
Yeah.
always like looking at people's scales when they do a dragon because I think that says a lot. This kid's got some talent.
Yeah.
Kev, look, he
really
put
is.
Donovan's chin tattoo on this Terminator.
He did. He did. That's pretty dope.
When I go to work tomorrow, man, I'm gonna show him the video right here. I'm gonna.
This is sick.
Get to
Really,
this.
really great. Yeah, I love see anything with fire. I'm a sucker for fire. So I love
Yeah,
it.
I
And I love
can't-
dragons and Terminator. You know, like Kevin will tell you, this is my favorite stuff in the world. Dragons and T2. Are you crazy?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's official.
I mean, he does a really good job. I mean, you know.
Yo,
You know, I can't mention his name, but I'm gonna show him.
What'd you say, Kev?
I thought that was playing in my house. Did you see me take the headphones off? I was like, what the? That came on loud as hell. Yo, did you raise that up?
No, it's just how it was.
Holy crap. I thought I was waking everybody
Some
up.
of them are loud, I think.
Oh my God. I was like, yo, I'm waking people up. That was crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna show him tomorrow this on here. He's gonna kind of trip out. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, he'll think it's cool.
Yeah, he'll like it.
We really appreciate this. Yeah, it's any other drawings you want to show. Love to see it.
I'll tell him, you know, and I'll take a picture of him and stuff, and I'll let him know.
Yeah, hell yeah. Keep him motivated to keep drawing.
Yeah. He does some pretty wicked stuff, man, cutting out like jack-o'-lanterns and stuff on orange paper. Dude. So whenever like different holidays come around and stuff like that, like especially for Halloween and stuff, I'll have him make me stuff, or he'll cut me out bats and pumpkins and all kinds of stuff, man.
That's the best.
And I decorate my room with his stuff.
You know he's taking it serious as hell.
Yeah, it's his favorite thing to do there, you know. He's happy when he's drawing and stuff. So got to keep him happy.
Oh, I want to hear this panel now. I want to hear it. I think there's some kind of roar or some kind of snarl or some kind of snow, wind sound, all the above.
All the above, yeah. This is a loud ass panel.
Man, you can hear that sizzling from that, all that stuff like that.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
Kind of like do like a broken glass, like when you're stepping on glass.
Yeah.
Ooh. That would be killer. Incorporate sound into the comic book.
We were talking a lot about that over the past couple of days, Kevin and I, about the next trailer and what that could be like. Bunch of ideas.
Well, shoot, all you would need is one of those sound cards. The ones we use for the sabers.
What do you mean?
Well, since it's already got an SD card in it, you can just program the sounds to it. And
what are you saying? Include it with the comic book?
Yeah.
Oh. Then it would cost like $150.
No. You get like, you know, like I guess like a cheap version of, you know, a sound card or something. Kind of like one of those Hallmark card ones.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah, like a car, like a little watch battery powered thing or something.
Yeah, and you could get away with, you know, rigging it somehow, and all you'd have to do is just include it with the SD card. I mean, cheap SD card. There's got to be a way. There's got to be a way.
I think it's called Kindle. I don't know. Does that do that? Or is that just, you just read a book with that?
I haven't used a Kindle in a minute.
Yeah, but has it ever been done before? A comic book with sound. There you go, guys.
I mean, I don't think not a tangible one, just like the apps that they have now.
Maybe like an online version of it.
We were talking about that too. We were definitely talking about that. Oh, this looks crazy on the screen. It looks different than what I'm seeing.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah. I like it though.
I like the way it looks like that, man. That's just like cool. Because
it's pretty monstrous.
Well, it does, because it kind of shows, you know, the light is reflecting the blood that's on his body, and then you got the light that shows a little bit darker version of the blood on the floor.
Yeah.
But then you can really see his face, facial features a little bit more because of the light coming off of his chest. Dude, I mean, it's sick with that little lint of light in his eye from the floor.
Yeah.
Oh, come
I like
on.
that too.
And then you got that little red blood spot right down there by his foot too. So, you know, you see the blood.
That's what bothering me. That's a big difference, right?
Yeah, that's a big difference right there, because depending on how you want to work it, you know, the angle that you have at it, you can either have see, like right there's like super cool right there. That
I like
you want that little bit of
Yeah, I think I'm definitely done for the day, man.
Okay, we'll wrap it up.
Faded on you.
Show what I did here. I was just filling in this page where they
Superheroes walk.
Walking out of the spaceship, and there's the 7 people who are going to do this mission of trying to repair the sun satellite, which is on the previous page. Like, this is one of the previous pages where that's the sun satellite right there. They've traveled up there to repair it. So you have these this last-ditch effort with Mackenzie. He's the 3rd panel there, and he's got his helpers along with him, and they come upon these like dead bodies that are out there on the who have previously tried to repair that satellite. And so this team is now the ones that have to try to do that. And Kevin, let's see what you were working on.
Yeah, I can like zoom in.
You could describe that.
So I mean,
see if this works here.
Crazy right there, man.
So this is the scene
that is just crazy.
Where the Dybbuk pretty much stomps out all the campers, right? He just savagely just takes care of them. This is like, you got this guy down here with his head off.
Yeah, that's
just look at that blood. That's great. Nice job.
Yeah, he looks crazy.
That's what I was saying, man. That's what I was saying.
I wasn't looking when you guys were talking about that.
Yeah, he looks nutty.
Good.
Yeah,
got his leg over here.
I love the lighting effect.
Oh, it's looking nuts.
Man, that's sick. Dude.
So the hardest part, in my opinion, was trying to get the snow. Like, you can see how I'm trying to get the snow, because like if the snow isn't backlit or like have light on it, it just comes down looking black at night. But I needed to look white around that explosion that's happening.
Yeah, well, Kev, I think how you could do it is like,
can you see it?
If you don't already have the idea.
I don't think you can tell that it's in there. Like, I have it in there already.
Yeah, like the different levels of the snow, it would just be lit as you already know by that light source. So yeah, you might see some lighter white snow, but just around that, and then it would probably be like long shadows.
Yeah.
That leg looks real muscular and stuff, the way you lit that, and then bloody as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hell yeah. This is how far I got for the this session.
That's pretty cool. That is really cool. So then there'll be some faint like light on the body parts and stuff that are also on the ground, and then I guess some kind of differentiation between the background. But tonight you worked a lot on the main character, which is this Dybbuk creature, this alien monster who just ravaged people. If you've not seen the previous pages, that's what happened there.
It's looking good though, man. I'm having fun with this one here.
Dude, that's awesome, man. It's looking fantastic, dude.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely a great job with that. And I could see that the snow is going to come in more and stuff. Like, you already worked in a lot of this like motion that like it's like snow, like a snowstorm, I guess is like what it looks like.
Yeah. Well, I love the fact that when he zoomed in and you could tell how the blood was lit from the edge of it, and then it gets a little bit darker as the outer part of that blood splatter goes. You know, it's just the transition from the light to the dark is nice, man. Really nice.
Very cool. Well, thank you guys for being here tonight. We had a great time on New Comic Book Day every single Wednesday, right here on Comic Book Creation Live at 10 p.m. Eastern. Drop in, give us your thoughts on what we're working on here and what we talk about during the show. We're usually working on Albatross Junction for most of the show. That's our comic book that's coming out in October. Check out the link below for the pre-launch on IndieGogo. If you drop us your email, you are in for one of 4 free posters, which will come with your comic book if you sign up during this time, during the pre-launch. And then 60 days before the comic's going to come out is going to be the actual campaign. So yeah, that information is below. A little synopsis. Check out albatrossjunction.com and see some of our concept art there. Instagram is albatross_junction. Thanks for checking us out. Anyone in the chat. And Kevin, thank you for being here. Mundo, thanks again.
Yo. Thank you, sir.
You guys are awesome.
Come on, people. Come hang out with us. Have a drink at El Mundo's.
Have a drink at El Mundo. Yes, sir.
And we're going to have a new trailer soon. I'll play you guys the current teaser trailer. And we hope you have a great night.
Cool.